Welcome to the Living Unoffended podcast with your host, Brant Hansen.
So I found another sick burn of the Bible. I want to make a book out of these someday. Had a lot of listeners share them with me too, things in the Bible that are actually ooh, ouch, that's a sick burn. This one, no one has pointed out to me, I don't think. So if they have, or I've said it on the air, I don't remember doing it. But the sick burn on Zechariah. So if you know the story, even if you don't, well, let's review. So in the time of Herod, king of Judea, there was a priest named Zechariah who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah. His wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron. This is in Luke chapter 1. Both of them were righteous in the sight of God, observing all the Lord's commands and decrees blamelessly, but they were childless because Elizabeth was not able to conceive, and they were both very old. Once when Zechariah's division was on duty and he was serving as priest before God, he was chosen by lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord and burn incense. And when the time for the burning of incense came, all the assembled worshipers were praying outside. And here's where it gets kind of crazy, and then the sick burn happens. Then an angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. Wouldn't that freak you out, by the way? Parenthetically, this is not the Bible talking, it's Brant. The angel of the Lord appeared to him, an angel of the Lord, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. When Zechariah saw him, he was startled and was gripped with fear. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to call him John. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth, for he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He is never to take wine or other fermented drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit even before he is born. He will bring back many of the people of Israel to the Lord their God, and he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the parents to their children and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord." Zechariah asked the angel, "How can I be sure of this? I'm an old man and my wife is well along in years." Okay, so let me pause. This is where the sick burn is going to happen. What do you mean? How can you be sure of this? I'm an angel. Remember you were gripped with fear a second ago? Remember that? I'm an angel of the Lord. You were freaking out. Couldn't believe it. Remember that part? Startled. Remember the word startled? And now you're well, how do I know that this is going to happen? The angel said to him, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you, to tell you this good news. And now you will be silent and not be able to speak until the day this happens, because you did not believe my words, which will come true at their appointed time." Meanwhile, the people were waiting for Zechariah and wondering why he stayed so long in the temple. When he came out, he could not speak to them. So literally the sick burn was, I show up in glory, tell you the great news. You're yeah, but how would I know? Okay, I'm going to prove it to you by shutting your big yap. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut your yap, and you're not going to be able to talk to anybody. That's the proof. Because you keep talking, I'm going to make you stop talking. And finally, after all these years, your yap will be closed until it happens. There. I think that'll prove it to you. I just think that's genius. Oh, you want a miracle? You shutting up would be an absolute miracle. So that's what we're going to do here, Zechariah. That's got to go in the sick burns of the Bible. He wanted a big sign. Now, this happens all the time with people, and this is why I bring this up, because, well, it's a sick burn, and I talk about it, but also because it gets to this thing about us humans wanting signs that are obvious all the time. And if we don't get them, we're well, where's God? I don't understand. I don't get it. There should be something. He should show me obviously what to do here. But I don't think it's healthy. In fact, Jesus tells a story about Lazarus who goes to heaven, and the guy who was exploiting him all those years is in hell, and the guy who's in hell, please tell my brother, send Lazarus. He's still treating Lazarus like a servant, which takes some moxie. Go send Lazarus to my brothers and let them know. They'll see the miracle that he's there, and then they'll repent. It's no, they won't. No, they won't. They'll see it. Everybody wants a big sign, but when they get one, no, I need another one. It happens a lot. There's several times in the Bible like that, but literally with Zechariah, it's wow, what a big sign. I need another one. How do I know? Okay, Very common. We always want this big thing to happen. We always want this remarkable, supernatural thing that just hits us in the face, shows us what to do, or proves the existence of God. And it's too bad because we're missing out on something, which is nature itself is a huge slap in the face of God's existence. It really is. It is. There's so much we don't understand. We think in our mind, like our post-enlightenment, mindset, because it's like the default setting in the West, but we think, okay, supernatural, spiritual stuff, like, ooh, okay, that's stuff that, metaphysicians can worry about, like religious people. You can talk about that. But then there's the natural world. That's what we understand. Now, we understand the world, the physical world, the material world. The other stuff, you guys could talk about that. Yeah, okay, we don't understand that. Truth is, we do not understand the physical world at all. Every time we gain knowledge, we realize, everything we thought was true isn't. I talked about this on the other podcast, on the Brant and podcast. So if you heard this, I won't go as long with it at all, but I just to use a couple of examples. Healing itself, science does not understand. We think we do. We think doctors heal. They don't. I work with Cure. We do these. We talk about, hey, let's heal kids. Yeah, we're treating the kids. God is healing them. Science does not understand because at the cellular level, even if you just have a little cut, so you got a little cut on your arm, those cells aren't just communicating back to the brain about what to do. The cells are making decisions with other cells about what to do and deciding what kinds of cells they need to be and what they need to do individually and as a group to address the injury. And there's millions of them involved in this. And even at the single cellular level, it's a huge process to determine what needs to be done. And they do it. Single-celled organisms make decisions without brains. It's true. And the cells do that. And it's an absolute mystery. So at that level, we don't understand what's going on. Healing, we don't get it. We can treat, we can't heal. It's a miracle. I talked about topoisomerases. I worked on pronouncing it this time too. Topoisomerases. They're in the nucleus of every cell. Now you have 14 trillion, give or take, cells in your body. Think about this. And we've got just miles of DNA, or maybe like 14 feet of DNA, or 20 feet. I can't remember what it is. It's like 14 feet of DNA in each nucleus of each cell. So teeny tiny. And it's like this string that you could pull out, compressed into this tiny bit. And the analogy I heard, it's like having string, like it was like 26 miles of string inside a tennis ball, if you can imagine that. That compressed, that complex. And these topoisomerases are enzymes. Their job, which they make decisions about how they do it. Their job is to unscramble any tangles that are in the DNA helixes. And they actually make cuts on one side of the helix and then wrap it around and attach it on the other side to untangle, to untangle, to untangle. And they're doing it constantly. Millions of these enzymes in each nucleus making decisions to make sure that the DNA stays straight. Well, who knew that was true 20 years ago? Like this is, maybe they did. I don't know when they discovered it. Like that's how? Because the DNA itself doesn't explain that. It's all shot through with mystery at the tiniest level. And again, that's going on inside one nucleus. It's tough for me to unscramble like one computer cord. And they're doing this at a complex level. It's an enzyme. How? We don't know. It's just like, well, that's just nature. Okay. Well, but that's an absolute mystery. So the world itself is so shot through with mystery. I just think it's good to remember this. If you're not feeling God's presence, if you're not feeling emotionally connected, I honestly feel like that's okay. Still be loyal. And bringing this stuff to mind for me, maybe not you, but for me, it actually really helps because I'm like, there are miracles going on all over the place. God's design, the stuff he's sustaining us, he's the author and sustainer of what's happening. He holds all things together, it says in Colossians. He made all things and he's holding it all together. Like, I believe it. I believe it. It doesn't make any sense otherwise, but just basic things like healing and what's going on in all 14.3 million nuclei in our body, it's just to give you but just go for a walk. Like, imagine all this stuff, everything just completely shot through with miracle. There was a great part of the book, and it's Khaled Hosseini. I don't know if you've read his stuff. He's so good. He's such a great novelist. He writes about Afghanistan. This is from my third favorite novel of his called And the Mountains Echoed. My second favorite is The Kite Runner. And the first one is 1,000 Splendid Suns is what it's called. Highly recommend. It is so good. But the main character is looking back. He was like a taxi driver and a butler in Kabul over the course of his life. And he had a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. And he had love in his life. He just went through a lot. And he had this quote, and I wrote it down as he was reflecting. He said, "I suspect the truth is that we are waiting, all of us, against insurmountable odds for something extraordinary to happen to us." I think that's true. I think sometimes when I'm bored, I open up my email hoping there's some email that pops through from who knows who, but like some great news about something. And I think when we're scrolling, we call it doom scrolling, but I also think we're looking for something good. Something good, something that makes us feel better. Something. We're looking. But he says we're waiting for this thing, for something extraordinary to happen to us. What I'm trying to say is it already has. It already has. And extraordinary is actually the norm when we see it. And remembering that and like seeing his creative ability is very helpful for me to keep praying and keep talking to him. And I can talk to him even as I'm walking. I see stuff. I talk to him about that. I know he's the sustainer of everything. I know. And I can tell him that. And it's a source of peace for me. Like knowing how much we don't know, knowing how much my Father knows it feels like, a strong place to be.
You've been listening to the Living Unoffended podcast with Brant Hansen. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you'd like more information on Brant Hansen, his book, Unoffendable, and more, go to branthansen.com.